What do you say? Friend from China, my first language and cultural guide. The third book in the What Do You Say series continues the tradition of inspiring young minds who want to make friends across cultural similarities. It's your companion guide to learn Chinese as a second language. Let's celebrate things that unite us in friendship and harmony. This book is a special dedication to my son, Jayden, his mommy, and his grandparents, who have inspired me with their support, love, and understanding. Table of Contents. Introduction. When you say yes, 当你说好. Mastering Chinese tones. Book 1 of What Do You Say to a Friend from China? Book 2, A Day at the Zoo. Chapter 6, Jayden's Winning Thoughts. And finally, some of his life lessons. When you say yes, like many kids, my natural inclination when offered something different is to say no. Still, I often discover that these suggestions usually lead to something I enjoy and even come to love. So now, I try to first say yes or okay. I am reminded of my favorite song that my daddy wrote. You say yes. There's also a Chinese version, 当你说好. That's my favorite too. You can watch more music videos and all of the content at YouTube at the handle China Myth. Hi, my name is Jayden, and I'd like to welcome you to the world's first Mandarin-Chinese language and cultural guide for learners of any age, but especially for kids. In my experience, trying to learn things from books and teachers often leaves too many cultural nuances lost in translation. Fortunately, I have a friend, Evan, who's from China, and I'd like to share everything he has taught me about Chinese culture and how he became my best friend. I also share a bit of Chinese history from his perspective, because this also influences Chinese thinking. This guide is not a textbook. Instead, my goal is to provide additional cultural understanding to create a fun Chinese learning journey. I will explain what Evan and his parents and grandparents are thinking when they say or do things that are strange and unusual. I will teach you important Chinese words, phrases, and cultural nuances beyond their translations so you can learn what to say to a friend from China. I am continuously learning better words to say to my friends from China, and I'm glad you have joined me. My daddy told me, knowing how to speak Chinese doesn't mean you know what to say in Chinese, but knowing what to say works in any language. Mastering Chinese tones. Learning to speak Chinese is best achieved through listening, practicing with a friend from China, and getting feedback with an open mind. What do you say to a friend from China? Books, videos, and audiobooks are companions for your learning journey. So let's review some essentials about learning Chinese to get you started on the right foot. Mastering Chinese tones is essential for accurate communications in Mandarin, as different tones can change a word's meaning entirely. First, we'll practice 4 ways to enunciate the pinyin tone that sounds like the letter A to begin mastering Chinese pronunciation. 4 ways to say A in Chinese. This character, A, It's pronounced like the letter A. Or it can also sound like hey. A has 4 different meanings depending on the tone. So let's practice 4 Chinese tones using this example. First Chinese tone. High and level constant sound. A. The English meaning of this sound would be hey, to draw someone's attention or to call someone. So practice. Hold the tone, the note high, like sing la in a steady pitch. A or hey. Second Chinese tone is a rising tone. A in the English meaning would be used to express surprise, like when you raise your eyebrow. So you would practice starting from a mid-level pitch and rise as if asking, Hey? Hey? Third Chinese tone, falling and then rising. So the English meaning would be kind of like, expressing some disapproval. So you want to think about saying with a slight bounce in your voice. Hey? Hey? And the fourth Chinese tone is a sharp dropping falling tone. Okay, so the English meaning of this sound would be yes, used to express agreement. You would start high and drop sharply as if saying no. Hey, hey, or hey. It's very similar to the Japanese word for yes, which is hai. Chinese pinyin tones chart. So Mandarin-Chinese is a tonal language, which means the tone used when pronouncing a character will change its meaning entirely. There are 4 primary tones in Mandarin, plus a neutral tone. You'll need to practice often to develop your Chinese pronunciation skills. What do you say to a friend from China? One day, I saw a new kid at the playground. He looked different, but he had a lot of cool toys. My daddy always tells me to try to make new friends. Where did he come from? Who are those old people watching over him? I wonder.
Will he let me play with his toys?
Cultural background. You will often see Chinese kids with their grandparents. In Chinese culture, it's common for grandparents to take care of children while their parents work. Evan's grandparents on his father's and mother's side used different Chinese characters. On the father's side, it's 爷爷 for grandpa and 奶奶 for grandma. On the mother's side, it's 公公 for grandpa and 婆婆 for grandma. Chinese kids get their last name from their father's family name. Traditionally, Chinese families seek or maintain a genealogy book based on the male's last name. Hence, grandparents on mom's side are quote-unquote outside the traditional family tree. The character Y means outside or outsider. So the mom's father would be 外公 and the mom's mother would be 外婆. And the genealogy book for the family tree is called 家谱. My daddy always tells me to look at people's eyes when speaking to them.
Hey, can we play together?
At first, I thought he couldn't hear me because he didn't even look at me. I was taught never to talk to strangers, but this practice for Chinese people is both cultural and for safety purposes. Chinese kids tend to play exclusively with siblings, cousins, or classmates because they have a heightened level of awareness for trustworthy people. 自己人 is a trustworthy person, or one of us, one of our own. 自己 is oneself or one's own. And 人 is people or person. Due to Chinese history of being colonized and unequally treated by foreign invaders, there will always be an undercurrent of skepticism and mistrust towards any stranger. That said, once you're on the inside, the bonds of friendship will last forever, like mine with Evan. 外人 means outsider, foreigner, or stranger. 别人 means other people or others. And again, the character 外 means outside, foreign, or external.
Hey, did you hear me?
My daddy tells me it's rude to ignore people. They are speaking. One of the old people said something strange to him that I couldn't understand. I guess that's his grandma, but he ignored her too. Helping children respond correctly is a common practice for Chinese parents because of the Chinese cultural importance of face. This reflects the value Chinese people place on others' perception of them in terms of reputation or prestige. Chinese parents care deeply about their kids being accepted in the eyes of others, even strangers. So face in Chinese is 面子. It means social, prestige, and face. It is common for Chinese parents, and especially grandparents, to communicate with their grandchildren in Chinese. Grandparents often cannot speak English, while Chinese parents often prefer to speak natively with their children. Many of these parent preferences are cultural, so we shouldn't judge any differences as negative or bad. By the way, a new friend in Chinese is 新朋友. My daddy always tells me to share if I want to make new friends.
Hey, do you want to share?
Since he's playing by himself, I think he should want to make new friends by sharing his toys. Evan is initially confused, even startled by my friendly approach. Traditionally, Chinese people are accustomed to meeting new friends by introduction from other friends and family rather than a random stranger. Evan's second language is English, and he is culturally more conservative. So in Chinese, if I wanted to say, want to play together, I might say, 想不想一起玩? Or, want to play? 想玩吗? Overseas Chinese children are often from wealthier families. China's traumatic and turbulent history, including the Cultural Revolution and the Great Leap Forward, motivates Chinese parents to want their children to grow up in an abundant world. Chinese kids typically wear new and fashionable clothes, and they have plenty of new toys. Fashionable is 时髦, and culture is 文化. The Cultural Revolution is 文化大革命, and the Great Leap Forward is 大跃进.
Hey, that's not fair.
That kid grabbed my toy.
You need to ask too.
My daddy tells me, never grab someone else's things. He has so many toys, and he took mine without asking. And he didn't share any of his toys with me, so I must get my toys back. Surprised and slightly confused, Evan assumed Jayden was giving him the toy because it's common in China for kids to be given things without asking or borrowing. Culturally, Chinese people give and offer things as a gesture of goodwill to initiate reciprocity or the continuous exchange of goodwill, to deepen Guanxi. Okay, so Guanxi, it means the relation or relationship. It's also the basis in which preferential treatment is given or. In Chinese culture, rejecting or returning a gift is impolite, as it can cause a lost face. Requesting a gift be returned would be even worse, causing an even greater lost face. To lose face in Chinese is 丢脸, and face again is 面子.
Hey, give it back to me.
I grab my toy back and he starts yelling and crying. My daddy always tells me to be kind to other kids. He doesn't stop crying, so I say,
Hey, it's not yours.
His grandmother says something to him that I also couldn't understand. I don't think we can be friends. This kid is really strange. Chinese parents are very protective in providing guidance, often insisting on proper behavior without much flexibility. They also feel embarrassed when causing a scene, so they usually try to de-escalate bad situations. With children, they will attempt to instruct them how to act and how to interpret what is happening. Now, a well-behaved, obedient person would be spoken in Chinese as 乖乖. It means darling. It's also a term of endearment. And well-behaved and obedient, as in what a child should be, is just 乖. So Chinese people might say 乖, which means be a good boy. Chinese parents and grandparents typically have greater generational divides than in America. And how they communicate with each other and handle these differences often confuses outsiders. So one's elder or the older generation, we respectfully refer to them as 长辈 in Chinese. Cultural tip. In some cultures, it's more common to meet new friends by introduction from family or other friends. Initially, Evan ignores Jayden because he doesn't expect a stranger would be talking to him. Chapter 2, Second Meeting, Second Chances. I remember my daddy tells me I should always introduce myself first. The next day, I see the same kid. This time, he's with his mommy.
Hey, what's your name? My name's Jayden too.
He ignores me. Kids from mainland China are often raised by their grandparents, with both parents working full-time. So it's common to see them with different family members accompanying them. Grandparents in Chinese is 祖父. Now, Chinese moms are often very enthusiastic about helping their kids make friends. Likewise, they are also very protective if they perceive their kids are being bullied or disrespected. Mommy is mama, and daddy or father is papa. And to protect or to defend is 保护. My daddy tells me never to yell, but I forgot.
Hey, my name's Jayden.
His mommy says something strange. Then she waves her hand toward me. Tell him your name, she says to the boy. She nudges him again and says something strange again. She asks him, What's your name? Tell him your name. My daddy tells me to never assume something bad about someone else, but I was curious.
Hey, why does he talk?
His mommy smiles at me. He's still learning English. She kneels closely behind him, and they both look at me with a friendly smile. What's your name? Chinese children, especially boys, sometimes become over-reliant on their parents. The tendency to prioritize and spoil boys is a carryover from China's one-child policy and the tradition for males to carry on the family name. Of course, every culture spoils their children differently, so it's important not to judge any value differences. To spoil in Chinese is to 宠坏. China has a history of unequal treatment from foreigners, and Chinese people remember this period as the unequal treaty. The legacy of this dark period in Chinese history still affects how many Chinese feel today when they perceive something is unfair. So when you are treated unfairly or somebody did you a disservice, it's in Chinese, it's 亏待. And talking about what's fair or fair, the Chinese character is 公平.
My name is Jayden. Nice to meet you.
Evan. His mommy says, "Good job, Evan." My daddy tells me, always keep my hands to myself, but shaking hands is okay.
Hey, you want to play?
I extend my hands to meet his, and we shake hands. Evan extends his hand. I'm Evan. Nice to meet you. His mommy claps with an excited smile. Great job, Evan. My daddy tells me to always say thank you. I forgot.
Hey, what's that?
His mommy pulls some strange snacks out of her bag. She gives one to Evan. Can you share with Jayden? Evan says,
好吃,好吃.
with a big smile. And his mommy says, 好吃,好吃. It's good. You can try it. It's strange and mushy, but it tastes sweet and delicious. Yummy. Younger mommies from China tend to be very warm and enthusiastic, despite language or cultural differences. They want to be involved in every aspect of their children's lives and ensure they can experience everything. Warm and enthusiastic in Chinese is 热情. And Chinese moms love to share snacks, often forgetting that in Western culture, parents usually check with other parents first whether certain snacks or candy are permitted. Let's remember that eating rituals and food have a higher importance in Chinese culture. Now, snacks in Chinese is 零食. Cultural tip. In some cultures, it's common to share food as a gesture of friendship. Evan's mom is helping him start a friendship with Jayden by sharing snacks together. Chapter 3, Best Friends Forever. I want more, but my daddy always tells me I should only take one. This candy is strange, but it's so delicious.
Hey, what is this?
You want more? Says his mommy. She gives me a handful of the yummy soft candies and I stuff them in my mouth. My eyes wide open and I say,
Thank you.
I love Evan's mommy. She is always giving us Chinese snacks and candies. She also encourages Evan to share these delicious snacks with me and with other kids at the playground. Chinese people love to share their food and culture, and I enjoy tasting new things. Light refreshments or desserts in Chinese is 点心, and candy is 糖果. Chinese people are very generous, especially to strangers attending the same activity, who may eventually become friends. The common bond is the activity, such as school, going regularly to the same playground, or attending music class together. Evan's parents are always bringing gifts too. Activity in Chinese is 活动. My daddy taught me this gesture when we are sharing something to eat or drink, and we should say cheers. So I say,
Cheers, Evan.
touch my candy to Evans and say, cheers. Evan giggles, cheers.
Cheers.
We enjoy our snacks together. Hey, Evan, let's go play. I start to move and Evan comes toward me. I start to run and Evan begins chasing me. We run, giggle, and laugh all around the park. It is so much fun. My daddy tells me to always be patient when other kids are waiting in line. There was nobody waiting in line, so we slide at the same time to see who can be the winner. My daddy showed me to touch the roly-poly gently. It will change into a ball.
Hey, look, that's a roly-poly.
Hey, Evan, watch this. Evan smiles as he looks intently. Where did he go? He's protecting himself, so he becomes a ball. My daddy says never to hurt any animals, so be careful. My daddy tells me to protect all living things, including plants and animals. Hey, look, another one. Evan, you try. Evan turns with an exciting smile to his mommy. He yells,
Mama, you can't.
Mommy, look. His mommy comes over. Wow. Evan touches the bug and it turns into a ball. My daddy says we should not keep other people waiting. Mommy has dinner ready for us to come home.
Hey, will you come tomorrow?
Evan is my new best friend. Evan says, see you tomorrow, Jayden, with a big smile.
Tomorrow, bye. What do you say to a friend from China?
Today is an exciting day, and I can't wait. What should I prepare? Today, Evan and I will go to the zoo, and I will use my own budget to buy snacks and ice cream. Mommy yells, Jayden, go brush your teeth and wash your face.
Okay, Mama.
I'm so excited. I'm still thinking what else I can bring. Should I bring some toys? My daddy tells me if I save my money and make a budget, then I can buy anything I want. Beep, 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 beep. My dad set an easy combination for me to remember, but I can't let anyone else know what it is. It's a secret. How much money do I need? My budget today is $27. Jayden, please go brush your teeth. You don't want to be late and keep Evan waiting.
Okay, Mama, I'm coming.
My daddy says money needs to be earned and saved because everything costs money. I see Evan and his daddy arriving.
Hey, Evan, what's that?
Jayden points at Evan's bracelet. Evan's dad says, Evan, give your gift to Jayden. Evan says, here, Jayden, for you. What is it? Evan's dad said, it's for good luck. My daddy reminds me to avoid being late, especially when others are waiting. Cultural tip. A Chinese jade bracelet holds deep cultural and symbolic significance. It provides good luck and protection, as well as it has health and healing properties. Gift giving is a deeply held Chinese custom, and Evan brought me a gift before we went to the zoo. Since we invited them to the zoo, they naturally felt obligated to bring something as a gesture of goodwill and reciprocity. Gift in Chinese is 礼物, and giving something or giving a gift is called 送礼. Eating rituals are very important in Chinese culture, as is trying new foods and experiences. But don't be surprised when you see your close Chinese friends prepare their own food that they cooked at home. They believe food prepared at home is safer and healthier. 吃饭 means to eat or it's time to eat. Literally, it means eat rice. But 吃饭 means time to eat. 食物 means food. Safe is 安全 and healthy is 健康. So healthy food would be 健康的食物. My daddy says, Jayden, did you say thank you? Thank you, Evan. Evan's dad says, in Chinese, we say 谢谢. Jayden says,
谢谢. Thank you.
Evan says, 不客气. You're welcome. My daddy tells me to always say thank you when someone gives me something, even if I don't like it. Okay, get into your car seats. Evan's dad says, Evan, 坐好. Sit properly. Jayden yells,
Can we have some snacks?
My daddy reminds me, Jayden, remember, there's no eating in the car because we don't want to make a mess. My daddy always tells me safety first, so I must always wear my safety belt in the car.
I want to watch Talking Tank. Can we watch?
Jayden, you're with your friend, and we're going to the zoo. Let's not watch and ruin our eyes. Jayden sighs with disappointment. Okay. My daddy says, Can I see a smile, please? Okay, Jayden says with a forced smile. My daddy tells me if I watch too much iPad, it will hurt my eyes, and I will have to get glasses. Jayden yells, Play my favorite song. My daddy says, Safety first, Jayden. Daddy will change the song at the next stop.
Hey, Evan, I see a tree. What do you see?
Evan says, I see a house. Jayden says, I see a sign. My daddy says, Where, Jayden, where? Over there. Jayden yells, and Evan yells, Over there, and he laughs too. My daddy reminds me not to yell at people, especially when they are driving, because they need to focus.
Are we there yet?
Almost there, Jayden. Remember, we always need to be patient. My daddy tells me, good things come to those who wait, so I need to practice being patient. My daddy says, Okay, guys, we're here. Let's ask Evan where he would like to go first.
I want to get an ice cream.
My daddy says, Jayden, let's see what Evan wants to do first. Can you ask Evan what he wants to do? My daddy tells me that I should always give others a chance to talk. Evan's dad starts walking towards the entrance. He wants to buy tickets for everyone. My daddy says, Wait, let me get the tickets. Evan's daddy was too far ahead. He takes Evan to buy tickets for the zoo. I guess we will go to the zoo first. Cultural tip. It is typical in Chinese culture to treat or pay for new friends and acquaintances as a gesture of goodwill. These gestures begin a ritual, reciprocity, that is essential for deepening Guanxi, which is how all social relationships work in China. In America, it's common for everyone to pay for themselves. I don't know why, but my daddy says go Dutch means we pay for ourselves. I learned that in Chinese culture, they rarely go Dutch. The host or the highest ranking person usually pays the bill. And Chinese families are accustomed to eating together at a big table and sharing all the dishes. So if you want to treat someone for dinner or you want to pay the bill, in Chinese it's called 请客. And the formal meal where everybody is dining at a big round dinner table, they call that 聚餐. I learned that allowing Chinese friends to pay for something is okay, but it starts a process of taking turns. So we should always remember to return the favor. Evan's daddy explained that returning favors is how Chinese people exchange goodwill to deepen Guanxi. To express sincerity and goodwill, in Chinese it's called 诚意. What do you say to a friend from China? A day at the zoo, exploring all the animals. Follow me, Evan. Let's go see the snakes. Evan and Jayden run towards the reptiles exhibit. Evan's dad yells, Evan, 不要跑, 不要跑. Don't run. We ignore our dads and run to see the snakes. My daddy tells me not to run in crowded places because it's not polite to bump into people. Sometimes I need to sit on my daddy's shoulders to see.
Daddy, can I do shoulder, please?
My daddy picks me up, puts me on his shoulder. Now I can see the tigers better. Evan reaches towards his daddy and says, 抱抱, 抱抱, carry me too. Watching the tigers is so cool. Hey Evan, look at that one. My daddy tells me one day I will be too big to sit on his shoulders. Finally, a favorite. We can feed and touch the animals. Daddy, can we buy some food to feed the animals? Sure, you can buy anything you want with your budget. That's right. I have my own budget today. $27.
Come on, everyone, get animal food. 2, please,
says Jayden. That'll be $6. 27 minus 6 equals 21. I still have enough to buy snacks and ice cream. My daddy always reminds me to be gentle with all animals and never scare them. Wow, there are so many cool animals at the zoo. Evan, what's your favorite animal? Evan says, I like feeding the sheep. Me too, but my favorite are the lions and tigers because we have cats at home. My daddy says it's okay for people to like different things and have different opinions. Cultural tip. Every culture has different taste preferences for food, as well as having different rituals for eating. Chinese people care deeply about what to eat during their dining rituals. What do you say to a friend from China? A day at the zoo, lunchtime, and snack time. My daddy says, are you guys hungry? It's lunchtime. Evan's daddy has been giving us snacks all day, but I just want to eat more snacks. Maybe it's time for ice cream.
Can we have ice cream?
My daddy says, before dessert, you have to eat some real food. After lunch, you can use your budget to treat Evan to ice cream. How about hot dogs?
Yay, hot dogs. Everyone have hot dogs for lunch.
Evan's daddy prepared a lunchbox, but he let him eat hot dogs and chips with us. My daddy says snacks come after real food. Otherwise, it's bad for my stomach. I often notice that Evan's daddy doesn't have strong opinions about what to do or what to eat, and they always seem flexible. My daddy always asks what they prefer, and his daddy usually replies, "It's okay." Chinese people are so polite and accommodating, but Evan says that's not how his parents talk at home. So to be flexible is 有弹性, and to be polite is 客气. My daddy says, happy wife, happy life, which is why he always listens to mommy and tries to make her happy. Between Evan's mommy and daddy, his father seems more relaxed and laid back. Maybe all daddies are the same about making moms happy. There are many ways to say happy in Chinese. One is 快乐, which means happy and joyful. Now, to feel happy means you would say 开心. And if you're glad or willing to do something, you would express it as 高兴.
Done. Time for ice cream. Evan, it's time for ice cream.
Evan's dad says, let me buy ice cream. Evan says, I want chocolate. Jayden says, I want vanilla. Daddy, I want to ride the bikes around the park again. Okay, but if we leave the zoo, we cannot come back in. My daddy asks Evan, do you want to see more animals or go to the next activity? Evan says yes. I guess that means he wants to ride bikes. My daddy says to always check what other people want to do so they feel participation. But I forgot. We exit the zoo, and there are so many activities in the park. We can ride the train, there's a place to ride ponies, and we can rent bikes or paddle boats.
Can we ride bikes?
Okay, all kids must wear helmets. Jayden and Evan both yell, let's go, let's go. Helmets first, safety first. My daddy says I have to wear a helmet whenever I ride my bike or scooter. Safety first.
We'll stop here. I want to play with the little animals.
Look, what's that? My daddy says it's a chipmunk. You can see they like to dig holes in the ground and play hide and seek.
Hey, Evan, look, a chipmunk.
My daddy tells me to protect all living things, so I need to make sure I don't hurt the animals. This is the best day ever, and I hope it never ends. Hey guys, we still have time to ride the train. Yay, let's go. I want to ride the train.
Can Evan come to my house later?
Evan says, can Jayden come over to my house? My daddy says, let's enjoy how blessed we all are and be grateful for our friends, family, good health. My daddy says, tomorrow is a new day, new possibilities to do something positive. Evan and I have learned so much from each other and our parents, and we'd like to share some winning thoughts in both English and Chinese to help you develop stronger friendships, no matter what our presidents or other people say. we can determine our success and choose to say more positive things to our friends and family. Always remember. My daddy taught me 4 no's to always remember, especially when I am not given what I want. I have discovered that following them leads to getting more of what I want. So, if you're a kid like me, I want to share the first secret with you. And that's how to get more by making other people feel happy first. And here's a tip. It works especially well with moms. So what are the 4 no's? No yelling, no screaming, no whining, and no crying. No yelling is 不要大喊大叫. No screaming is 不要尖叫. No whining is 不要抱怨. And no crying is 不要哭泣. Power of positivity. I used to behave very poorly whenever something went wrong or when I didn't get my way. But this behavior often led to punishment, like getting grounded or not getting dessert. My daddy taught me that the universe is listening, and only through positivity can I get something I want in return. And by the way, Santa Claus is also watching whether I am a good boy. I can't wait until Christmas, my favorite holiday. So here are the 3 positives. Number 1, think something positive. Number 2, say something positive. Number 3, do something positive. Okay? Think something positive in Chinese is 想好的. Say something positive is 说好听的话. And do something positive is 做好事. Keys to success. My parents and teachers always tell me to listen and focus. But I didn't understand why until my martial arts instructor stressed how important listening and focus are to becoming a black belt leader. I perform better when I listen closely to instructions. And I discovered that the right answers come more easily when I listen carefully to what other people are saying. And I am always rewarded with a big smile, which tells me the universe, everything is positive too. The 2 keys are 1, listening, and 2, focus. In Chinese, listening is 专心听, and focus is 认真做. Finally, my superpower. My daddy always reminds me that I always have the power to choose. I can choose to listen, and I can choose whether I want to share my toys. I can choose to smile when others don't share with me and just say, no problem, but I'll still be your friend. Maybe when you are ready, then you can share. My mommy always tells me, you don't have to share until you're ready. So my number 1 superpower is the power to choose. In Chinese, 选择的力量. Hi friends, I'm too young to give advice or life lessons, but I love sharing what I learned from my best friend from China, Evan, and our parents, teachers, and instructors. My mommy always tells me it's okay to cry, But my daddy explained that crying when I'm sad or hurt is different from crying to try to get what I want. I now understand that crying when sad is normal, but I shouldn't use crying to get my way. Finally, I believe in thinking positive. Evan's dad said that in China, there's a phrase that means the same thing. 想好得好. Chat soon. This is Jayden signing off. 想好得好. Think positive and something positive will happen. Especially useful when stressed or depressed. Jin Shu is an author, his son's best friend, and his wife's soulmate. His son Jayden is an American-born Chinese, ABC like his daddy, while his mommy is from mainland China. Jin specializes in cross-cultural communications between Americans and Chinese people and uses his cultural awareness and empathy to teach Jayden how to communicate with kindness, care, and purpose to make better friends with anyone while discovering more meaningful experiences. This book combines the first two in the What Do You Say to a Friend from China series. Plus, it adds Chinese language and cultural lessons as a companion for any young or old Mandarin learner. Follow the stories of an all-American boy, Jayden, who loves baseball and hot dogs and somehow becomes best friends with a kid from China, Evan, who initially doesn't speak much English or know how to share.